Hello all. So after everyone was posting their reactions to that whole NBA Facebook post drama, I realized I had some thoughts on the matter. So I wanted to create a video about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I guess now former NBA social media employee took over the NBA's Facebook account one last time to post this. And I'll start off this video by saying that whoever that person was definitely should not have done that. No matter how much anger and frustration you have over your job, like that's definitely not the way to do things. If for no other reason than you just scorch that bridge. Whew. But if you sort of ignore like the drama behind the post and the why behind the post and shouldn't have, whatever, and we sort of take the post at its merit, like just look at it in a vacuum, there's definitely a lot of truth to that post. So, for context, I've been working in sports, pursuing a career in sports for over 5 years, I think. I don't know. It started in college. I started college in August of 2017. 6 years now, I guess. Wow. And in that time, I've been really fortunate to work for a number of places that have paid me to, be involved in sports. I've worked at a number of different sports related places doing a whole bunch of different things. And don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of cool stuff about that. Getting paid any amount of money to cover sports, watch sports in any capacity is awesome. And it's really cool to do that. And it's really cool to say I do that. But there's also been a lot of difficulties that come with trying to work in sports. Finding full-time work in sports is really difficult and takes a lot of part-time and freelance jobs, which I've had the great fortunate opportunity to be able to take those jobs, but a lot of other people aren't. I've worked at places where it's been really long hours, it's been really late hours. I've worked plenty of times past midnight covering sports or being involved in sports. I've had to sacrifice a social life to work in sports, and I say this not to criticize these places that I've worked for that I've had to do that for, because it's just the reality of trying to work in sports. Like, sports mostly happen at night, so if you want to be a part of that, you got to be willing to sacrifice your nights, weekends, etc. I think the problem with the conversation that this Facebook post brings up is it's kind of similar to the one you see with a lot of athletes, where the moment they complain about anything about their job, whether it's the travel, the physical exhaustion, the mental health issues that they have, the pressures that come from it, being away from their family, it's immediately met with rejection. Like, well, you get paid millions of dollars to play a game, so why are you complaining about anything? And it's sort of similar on the lower level, like my level, where it's, it's what you get paid to like watch basketball. In regards to that Facebook post, right? It was like, you could do your job from a phone. Why are you complaining? And it's like really frustrating to see, because understand this, any athlete or anyone who works in sports is totally aware of the blessing and the amazing opportunity they have. It's not lost on anyone, including me. But at the same time, I don't think that means people in this position aren't allowed to complain about any part of their job, especially in the case of that Facebook post where it was talking about really just basic surface level stuff like, hey, I would like to get paid a livable wage, or I would not like to have to work 14-hour shifts, or sacrifice my mental health. I would like to have insurance from the moment I start this job. I don't really think that's a lot to ask for. And so I think the first step in trying to solve these problems is just being open to having the conversation and not just like immediately being shut down. Because again, there's a lot of good of working in sports, but there's also a lot of struggles. Just because I'm grateful for the opportunities that I have, it doesn't mean you can't also hope for things to be better and to improve. That's how society progresses as a whole. So yeah, there's definitely stuff that can be done to improve the working conditions of people who work in sports, whether it's in social or any other field. But the first step is just being open to that conversation, because if the conversation doesn't start, then we can't talk about next steps and move from there. So yeah, that's how I feel. If you work in sports too, curious to know what you think.